So this is a tier 6 battle. This is the Agincourt, or something. Why do I keep saying Agincourt with you, Thud? I don't know. It's the Dunkirk, which is the tier 6 French battleship. Very fun battleship to play. One of my favorites, honestly, because very much like the Yamato replay we just did, it's relatively simple. Point the bow at the enemy and profit. Dunkirk has really good fire chance with HE shells. It's my preferred shell choice for the ship. That being said, I've seen people do just ridiculously dangerous, like just bad things to cruisers with Dunkirk AP because it's got really good muzzle velocity, and therefore a lot of times it will penetrate cruisers when normally those shells wouldn't do it. So it kind of comes in handy there. You could also you shouldn't. It's got secondaries that most of them are in the back of the ship. One of my favorite experiences in a Dunkirk was literally running away from a Congo and just essentially crapping out my secondaries all over his face, and he couldn't do anything about me. That was hilarious. So anyway, let's take a look at Thudtwit's build and all that good stuff. It is deceptively strong, exactly. This is one of the ships that most of the community contributors at the time said was crap. I will mention I was not a community contributor at the time. I was a wiki editor. Myself, Sea Raptor, Killjoy 1941, we all said these guys are nuts. We went into a game with a triple Dunkirk division, and we set the world on fire. Just as all the CC videos came out, so people were like, what are you guys playing that shit for? And then we just made them burn. Oh, God, it was so good. Anyway. Exactly. SAT is right. High AP pen. So, you've got main armaments mod 1, damage control, aiming systems, and damage control. There you go. Perfect. Sea Bear. Need a new hat, Bull Eagle. And then you've got spotting aircraft. All right. Now, Thudtwit. Thudtwit, my dude. This is a tier 10 or tier 6, but it's a premium ship. Why do you have a 10-point captain in it?
Because that's what I mainly have is 10-point captains.
You
And I
don't
don't
have
play it very often.
You don't have any captain that is higher skills than 10 points in the French. Any French captain.
Yeah, I think so, but I have a lot of captains, so just this one captain here.
Right. Remember I did my Zat chat about commander efficiency? You're better
Oh
off
yeah.
taking your high point captain, throwing him in here, working your way up. We all start somewhere, Wolfie, but I want to make the distinction. Is this captain only on the Dunkirk?
Yes.
That's a problem. The reason it's a problem, Thudtwit, is because you are not gaining any utility for any other ship. In my opinion, personal opinion, are you working up the French battleship line?
Yeah.
Okay, put your highest tier French battleship captain in here. You build up that captain on this premium ship while you also go and get your daily wins on that line, and now you're kind of double XP growthing your captain. The point I'm getting at is you could have a 14-point captain in here, and that has a bigger impact on your Dunkirk. There's no reason to put a special, specific captain on a premium ship. The whole point is to flip them around as necessary. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cool. Is this a standard captain, or is it one of the specials?
Standard captain.
Good. Because if you were going to tell me it was a specials, I was going to punch the screen. I'm kidding. Don't worry.
It's the Azure Lane captain. So
Fine. When it comes to special captains, really, it's only these that matter.
oh come on.
No, I'm saying because these have buffs. Buff Tour Traverse, buff. The anime captains only have the weeb sounding. You know, if that's exciting, that's fine. But like these three captains here do something special. Every other captain, including the Azure Lanes, there's no bonus to their combat capabilities. Do you understand the distinction there?
Right.
So, that's my first thing. Put your highest tier captain, and it doesn't have to be a battleship, by the way. It could be the French battleship if you've got the same build, or it could be a French cruiser or destroyer captain that you throw in here. Because remember, you can put those ships in those captains in premium ships, and you've got a whole new set of builds for that premium ship. So you can get a lot more use out of your honorays and your abonnus. Do you have honoré and abonnu?
Yeah, I have those guys.
Good. You should be running honoré, in my opinion, on this ship, and you should be running buffed adrenaline rush. The buffed turret reverse would be fine, but not as important. I don't know that I'd run abonnu on this because his skills and talents really are better. I mean, Death Strike, I guess, could happen, but his skills are better suited to destroyers, frankly. But the buffed adrenaline rush is so sexy. But anyways, with the honorays. So I digress. You've got a standard captain. We'll go based off of that. Fine. You've got preventative maintenance, vigilance, secondary long range, and manual secondaries. All right. This is a random battle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my initial response to this is, what are you thinking?
That's just my standard build I have on battleships, nothing else.
Okay. Secondaries on this ship. I just told you that most of the secondaries are in the rear. So you're buffing secondaries that are only going to be useful if you're turning tail and running from a target. Or they're like
Right.
dead broadside to you. The Dunkirk, typically, you're pointing your bow at whatever your biggest threat's going to be. So on this ship, secondaries really aren't that effective. Also, it's a tier 6. If you were doing this at the tier 8, I could see the argument, because at tier 8, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Still, the French battleships are in that weird position where you could go secondaries, but they're not as... It's not as good as doing a tanky build. We talked about vigilance in the last replay. Vigilance isn't going to help you too much. You'll spot the torpedoes a little bit earlier, but frankly, that's not going to matter too much. 7% torpedo damage reduction only happens if you get hit on the torpedo belt, which again, if you're bow into your threat, not going to happen that much. Personally, I would go priority target instead of vigilance, or you could make the argument for grease the gears. But since your bow on and your turrets are only looking this way, I don't know that grease the gears is that important. I wouldn't go secondaries at all on this ship. I would go adrenaline rush and concealment as my first two. And that's for the Richelieu at tier 8. That goes for pretty much any battleship. For me, the secondaries come in later. Runty, was that you?
No, yeah, forget about it. I'm not.
This is probably where I would start my build. And then from there, I would decide what I wanted to do. Now, for the Frenchies, manual secondary aiming actually isn't that great. The reason for that is because your secondary shells, and I'm talking more about like at tier 9, the Alsace, for example. Your secondary guns, there's a lot of like 100mm guns. They just don't do a lot penetration-wise. Manual secondaries aim at the center of the hull. And the center of the hull is typically the most armored portion of the hull. So actually, manual secondary hurts because you tighten up the dispersion on an area where your secondaries won't do the damage. They can still start fires, but they won't do the damage. You actually want a larger dispersion of shells there. So if you really want to go secondaries, I would go long range secondaries, but not go manual. And I would go maybe close quarters expert, and then pick one of these two, probably fire prevention. And you could do something like that. What's the farthest you've gotten in the French battleship line?
Oh, I've got them all.
Republic?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Repub plays a little bit differently. You could do a secondary battleship. You could do more of a tanky. But, you know, the nice thing about this is when your secondaries are shooting, you get a reload bonus to your main battery, which comes in very handy at the higher tiers. Anyway, this is what I would do. I don't think vigilance is that important, and I don't really put a lot of stock in manual secondaries unless you're playing operations. And operations, manual secondary away, because they're typically lower tier opponents and they're cruisers and destroyers, and you don't care about penetration of your 100 millimeter guns at that point, your secondaries. Okay?
Okay, that's cool. I am waiting for the next big captain reset so I can start re-specking all my captains because we've talked about this and I am most of my captains are a mess.
Frankly, most people's are. Mine are somewhat of a mess. I know there's people that have a ton of them. It's fine. As long as you're going into it saying, I'm waiting until I can take advantage of an opportunity, that's fine. That's great. But remember, you can take any captain and put it on a premium ship. And if it's from a different class, say you're working up the French cruisers, you can slap them on this and build just like I showed you here and try it out. And if it works
but
for you, great.
it feels wrong to put Dunkirk on anything other than Dunkirk.
Okay. That's a personal
No,
choice.
I'm just being silly about that.
No,
my Azure Lane captains, I like leaving them on their ships. That's all.
I get it. I get that you're saying you're kind of being, but there are people that are out there that say, nope, that's where they go. Okay, fine. You're leaving performance on the table. That's all there is to it. So
The question I would have about that is having the Azure Lane captain there, but is it that expensive to keep a second primary captain that you use when you decide to go in to do specific random battles or something?
no, not at all. Because of the nature of how premiums work, you can have one that's spec'd for secondaries like this, and then you could have one that's spec'd for main battery like this. And you can have one that's completely different. If you want to go and screw around with a whole bunch of one-pointers, you can do that. The nice thing about premium ships is you can have 9 different builds on a premium ship and experiment. What do I like best? And then you can take what you learned from that experimentation and apply it to the tech tree ships as you grind up those ships. So that's the part of premium ships I think a lot of people just don't understand. They haven't picked up on the flexibility that comes into play with the current system of commanders. That makes sense?
Recalling captains doesn't cost you anything if they've already been trained for that ship, right?
Correct. If
Okay.
they go back to the same tech tree ship that they were on before, it doesn't matter. You can take somebody who's on let's say Vauquelin, the tier 7 French destroyer. You can throw that captain on the Dunkirk, build whatever you want, and then throw them back on that Vauquelin again afterwards, and you're fine. And then you can take that same Vauquelin guy and you can put him on a tier 6 Eagle, because that's another premium ship, and then put him back on again. And then you can put him on the Baron, which is a premium carrier. Build the carrier build and then put him back on again. So that's the beauty of this system, is you can put it on all these different ships that are premium, and you're not penalized for it. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people don't. So anyways, so we talked about captain build. Signals, you are running signals, anti-det ramming, blood reduction, fire reduction, heal boosting, speed, secondaries. Fine. This is everything you want in a battleship. I would argue at tier 6, you could probably use to not do any of that stuff and be fine. But whatever. If you've got a lot of the flags, then use them. You've got Azure Lane Bismarck on your Bismarck. Loot Jens is on another ship. So Bismarck, because it's a tech tree ship, Wolfie, makes sense. You're going to have one captain on that tech tree ship. But you're probably going to take Loot Jens. I just moved into my Schlieffen. That's where he's probably best. Sam the Cat also could work on Bismarck, sure. If you want to go historical accuracy and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I have Sam the Cat on Mecklenburg.
Mecklenburg, again, is a premium ship. Hey, Zand. So it's a premium ship, so you can... look who's back streaming. Yes, hey. So you can absolutely put him on something else, too. You can put him on a German tech tree ship and throw him on the Mecklenburg when you want. So that's the part of my Zach chat about commander efficiency. It's all about take your highest tier captains, put them on these premium ships. Your mid to low tier captains will suffer, but who the hell cares about them? You want to build up as many 21-point captains as you can, build up elite commander XP, and then use that elite commander XP on your mid to low tier captains. Get them caught up. Exactly, DS9 Ranger. Exactly. Yes, they are good for grinding tech tree captains faster than you can by playing tech tree alone. Exactly. So you are middle tier. There's no carriers and no subs. Congratulations, you won the jackpot for that. You've got AP loaded. You're trying to look for a cruiser right now. Pause. Omaha, broadside-ish, just outside your range. Gee, if only you had a way to increase your range right about now. The plane. Like, you could literally have shot him right already if you pop the plane. You're not. You're waiting until he gets in range. That's fine. But you've given the Omaha enough time to turn in. That's okay, because Omaha will turn in, but he won't turn out, because he'll die. Shot way low there. You shifted the mouse when you clicked. Be very careful about that. Only one shot. The rest of them were way too low because you pulled down on your mouse when you clicked. I think you got a little excited there. Kamikaze R, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yes, Rob, that's the point I'm getting at. Focus the Omaha. Forget about this Renown. Especially now that he's leaving you. Doesn't matter. HE, by the way, on that Renown at this point. Hey, Ensign Cthulhu. Stop and reverse. You're about to do what Rob did in the Yamato game. Too far forward.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the Kamikaze at this point.
Yeah. You're keeping an eye on him by getting too close to him and getting yourself torpedoed by him. You're about within his range. Alright, there's the Omaha. Oh, it's so nice of the Omaha to sit broadside or bow into you right there. He's getting spanked. Important to reinforce the Omaha image. I'm sorry, but he got himself stuck bow in. That's a him problem. He's dead no matter. It doesn't matter what cruiser, what tier 6 cruiser that would be. He's dead no matter what because he got stuck bow in. You've adopted a new motto when playing WoWs. That's Latin for something, DS9, and I'm sorry, I don't know. I would not shoot the Kiernik here. I would instead shoot the Fuso. Fuso's the bigger threat.
Torpedoes to starboard.
I do like your exit stage left, though. That's nice. Get out of here. Hey, Smile Crow. I'll let the bastards get you down. Okay, I like it. I like it. I ranked out today doing the same thing in bronze. I did not let them get me down. I just kept playing until I ranked out. New York. Aim at the New York right now. Aim at the New York. Todd, where are you looking right now? Oh, you're looking at Diagonal.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to pop out.
He did a great job of ensuring that you could not shoot back at him. So, fantastic choice by that player. You had a great shot at a broadside New York. You didn't take it because you were hoping to get a shot in the Diagonal. Hey, I get it. A lot of cruiser players in this game, if I can shoot somebody, I will. And then they get killed, and then they complain. So, that's fine. Duplex. Molotov gets him.
Yeah. Hair late.
It's okay. So, here's your chance to turn around and go bow into the Diagonal and the New York. Looks like you're doing it. Good.
That's it. That's what I do, yeah.
Absolutely. I like it. I will note your secondaries haven't fired yet. Just want to rub that in for a second. New York broadside to you and barely moving. This is what you want to see with your AP shells in the barrel.
Yeah, that's. I was hoping.
Attention. Reporting a target position. Spotter returning to ship.
Bam. Only 4K. Whatever. Stop here. I would stop here. You don't have to reverse necessarily. Dispersion didn't shoot him. He fired after the New York disappeared and took a guess. But I think he fired too far forward, expecting the New York to, like, not keep moving at a quarter speed. So. And at this point, the New York actually sped up because people are shooting at him. Surprise, surprise. You getting closer to the Agano makes it easier for the Agano to pop out and torpedo you in the face. So that's why I don't think you should be going forward here. If the Murmansk wants to go in front and get himself killed just to try to kill the Agano, that's on him. Also, you should be zoomed in and ready to shoot on reload instead of waiting to the reload to zoom in and shoot. It saves you a couple of seconds, but hey, you never know when those couple of seconds matter.
So staying back away from the Agano would have been better than I
Well,
was intending to try to get around and get him. That was my plan.
okay. But here's the thing. Right now, the Agano can either ram you, he can pull forward and torpedo you in the face, or he can sit there and wait until you get in front of him. Those are the three options. If you get in front of him, your natural tendency is going to be to turn left to get your turrets on the target, right? When you do that, you give broadside to the Renown and possibly the New York. So that's the problem. Sit where you're at. You're in the driver's seat. If the Agano is like, look, see the Ismail to the south, I-2? Ismail's going to get behind him. That's going to encourage the Agano to move forward. He's not going to be comfortable where he is at a certain point. When that happens, he's going to come out right in front of you. You don't have to get in front of him. He comes in front of you, and you pop him in the face. Also, turn and point your bow between the New York and the Renown. And then I would keep shooting the New York. Forget the Renown. Just bow into you. That's over. Thank you, Wolfie. Good to know. Yeah, one ricochet. You did a lot there, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of like saying hi, and that was it.
Versus New York, you would have been better off shooting him. And so SAT brings up a point. Take a second to aim. Here's the thing. Aim before your guns are ready. Right here. You aimed before your guns are ready. That's the first time I've seen you do that this replay. 3 bounces. Why you aim too low? You hit him right in the broad. By the way, look at the New York. He's broadside to you. Dude, shoot the New York. Who cares about the Renown? So, in between shots, look at the minimap. Who do I want to shoot at next? New York? Bow onto me? Fine. Fortunately, or broadside. Fortunately, the Renown is panicking and showing broadside too. So, okay, shoot the Renown now. Almost, 9k damage. Fine. Aim carefully, men. Those million ships
Took
are
too
out there.
long though. Like he wasn't even broadside anymore by the time he was ready to fire.
Correct. You still did good damage, but it did take a little bit long. Versus the New York, who's still broadside to you. Here you go. Also, I would control click on him because you're finally getting within secondary range of him. There's the punish. Control click. Your secondaries are shooting, but you're turning so your secondaries can't shoot. Another reason why you want to point between the New York and the Renown. Not only are you angling your armor appropriately, but you're also getting your secondaries into action. Which I will mention, you've invested 3 points and 4 points. 7 of your 10 points. 70% of your captain skills went to secondaries, which only fired once so far this game.
Everyone.
See the minimap? Look at the minimap. See this Koenig right here? That's who I'd be looking at right now. I'd be chasing the Renown, but looking at the Koenig. Also, I'm worried where the Kamikaze R is. I haven't seen him in a while. And everybody that was able to do something to him is gone. In other modes, the secondary batteries will shine. Yeah, it's a Dunkirk at tier 6. If it's the Richelieu at tier 8, yes. For operations and stuff. But I just... Okay.
Problem with all these front-only battleships, like Richelieu, Chambord, Dunkirk, Strasbourg, is like pretty much all the secondaries. Like 85% of your secondary power is in the back and can't even shoot forward.
Bingo. So it's only useful if you're showing side or running away from the target. At that point, you're kind of screwed anyways. Right here, you need to be stopping and reversing. You are in the front. Kamikaze R, last seen over here. You don't know where he is. Well, actually, you do know where he is. He's in the cap because the cap is being capped and the Shino is detected. So you don't have to worry about the Kami. But
That's
still,
kind of what I was thinking, yeah.
But still, I would be stopping and reversing here. Give your Molotov time to catch up here. He's almost dead, so he'll die in a second in a shot anyway. But give time for your Agincourt to get out here on the side of the Koenig. Give time for your Ishmael to, I don't know where he's going, get in position too. You are the front of the line, and there's nobody else that these guys are going to shoot at but you. So you're going to take the brunt of damage right here if you keep moving forward. And
Yeah, I
as you keep moving,
should have slowed down.
yeah, because as you keep moving forward, your ability to angle decreases as you move forward. Right now, you've turned your ship and focused on the Koenig. The Koenig is what, tier 5? And then you've got the tier 6
Thanks to-
Renown that's got a better angle on you. Now, see, here's the problem. You're trying to find a way to angle the both of these ships, and you can't. Control click on the Koenig. He's continuing to come into your secondary range.
I should have done that. I did not.
Take your time to line up your shots. We talked about this before. You could be healing right here. You're at max heal capability. Little delayed there. Now, for whatever reason, you're turning just as your secondaries get in range. And look at how much damage you took from the Koenig. That's a tier 5 ship. He just unloaded into your broadside because you showed him broadside for... Why? Why did you turn here?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, the Koenig is coming towards you. He's giving you an angle where your AP shells actually can do damage to them, and you was like, nope, I don't want to.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking along the lines of I'm totally out front by myself, and so I was trying to just
Another
get
big
away
hit
a little
there.
bit. Oh.
Another big hit by the Koenig. So you just got hit twice really hard by the Koenig, where if you would have just stopped and reversed, you'd be much healthier right now. Yeah, pre-thinking comes in helpful. Absolutely right, Wolfie. Absolutely right. You still haven't clicked on him. You've invested 4 points into a skill you haven't used yet this entire game.
Hmm.
So why invest the points?
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's where the close quarters combat comes in handy. If my secondaries are firing, I automatically get the reload boost. I don't have to worry about clicking anything, activating anything. It automatically happens. That's nice. Scream Raiders, next one is up. Scream Raiders, what are you doing? Necromancers? Ah, Necromancer. Another heal time. That's why I like using the mod. It tells me, hey, stupid, use your
Okay,
heal.
pause a second.
What?
Look at the minimap right now. Your cap is just being contested and the kamikaze is spotted. So,
Something else?
what ship is
Data.
in your cap?
Gotta be the Gator.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
means their cap is now actually open. There's
Mm.
only that renown that is low HP.
And you're so
So-
close to that cap.
So I would go straight for their base cap now.
that was kind of my direction I was looking at.
Okay. Let's continue.
I agree. No, I agree. I was thinking about possibly going around the island trying to keep unspotted because I got off the radar. But then I had the Fuso here, and I was like, I don't know. He's just
just
sitting
shoot him. He's
there.
broadside. Come on, shoot him.
That's what happened. I was like, I gotta do it. So I did.
Yeah, you gotta do it, but you gotta think too. What's the result? Like, what's the response going to be? Is he in position to shoot you back? If so, you want to bow into him instead of what you just did right here, which is turning away, because the Renown can still shoot at you here too.
And that I think bowing in would have been better, but I was still along the lines of going around the island to go towards their cap.
Yeah, that's fine too, because it puts you in a better position to go straight into the cap and be able to mitigate shells. And the Fuso still wants to sit there, so by all means,
I
shoot
know
him again,
that
right in the midships. Go for it. There you go.
amazed me.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you send the PayPal over to him. He's reversing. All right, well, you got one Citadel off him. Decent damage again with the AP. You miss every shot you don't take. Okay, Michael Jordan, but you're absolutely correct. That goes back to Rob's game where he kept not taking shots. Uso has finally decided to move forward, but I'm with Runty here. You need to threaten their cap. Going back to support here doesn't matter. That's up to your team. Get in their cap and force them to come back to you.
I think
But
your best chance of winning this is going in the cap. Yeah.
But the thing is, you lost so much hit points against a tier 5 Kernig because you showed him side twice. It's going to be very hard for you to get into that cap and do much.
I mean, there wasn't. I mean, he had time to heal by now.
That's right. The Renown's going to come back very... And by the way, he's divisioned with the Fuso. So you know the two of them are going to be like, oh, this guy, this Dunkerque, we got to kill him. Ah! And they're going to come back after you. The two of them together.
Yeah, but the way the Fuso plays makes me quite confident that he can take them.
I don't know about that. Way too low with your shells.
You gotta be in that gap.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He's continuing to get within the Fuso's shell arcs. Those shells are way too low, by the way. Fuso shooting HE at you. That's cute. One penetration. That's right. There's a Kami-R. It's 3 on 4 right now. You better hope the Ishmael can kill both destroyers, because that's pretty much what you've left it at.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a shot on the DD, and it didn't happen.
Too far away.
Honestly, you shouldn't be worrying about that DD. You should have been worried about that Fuso.
Absolutely.
Because that's what's gonna kill you.
Yep. And like I said, they're divisioned, and they're saying this guy, and... Okay, maybe the Fuso doesn't know what he's doing. But the key is, you're putting yourself in a position to now be broadside to the Renown. And... almost dead here. One more salvo is all it's going to take. Fortunately, the islands are in the way here. I like that you looked. That's important.
Yeah,
Correct,
I make use
think.
of islands here.
Yeah, I'm going to do one more replay. And we'll see what happens. Should be a kill? That's a kill with a Pitadel. Now here's the problem. You have no more heals left.
Yeah.
And the Ishmael is about to get into the cap. So that's about GG's. So they traded, but the Gata is still out there. At this point, just go straight to your cap. If you're lucky, you'll see the Gata and you'll kill him.
So, yeah, right now I'm thinking keep that island between me and the battleship behind me.
Yeah, but
And
you have to remember, he's moving forward. He's here now.
You
Yeah,
have no time to think about that. You have 1 minute 30 and you lose the game because that's when the
Exactly.
cap flips.
and that's why I turned and I went straight towards the cap, hoping to get a shot, like you said. And it. So I guess my main question here is, should I have just pulled and tried to contest their cap immediately, or should I have charged the Fuso like I did?
You should have
should've
tried to
went for
contest
the
their cap
cap.
a long time ago. When you came around this island here, you should have gone straight to the cap. You were right next to it. You were right here. You could have
Yeah,
been in
and
the cap and turned south and stayed in the cap and contested it.
And shot back him. Yeah, I
Correct.
get you.
You probably don't even shoot him. Like, you can probably get in there not shooting being undetected.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Like, you might
And
have
here's
been
where-
able to get behind the island in, what is this? Bravo 4. Where you're completely safe. If you get there, you win.
Yeah, you're talking about right here. Mm-hmm. Instead, now you've got 888 hit points. If you're hoping this Renown doesn't shoot you in the rear, I would control-click on him with secondaries just in case. Molotov is spotted. He's probably shooting at the Renown. The Renown, if you're lucky, is looking at the Molotov as easy kill. And it doesn't matter. It's game anyway. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
the
was a
Gator can
death-
kill him in a gunfight, too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the Gator should be opening up right now just to get that extra kill and you know, in garbage, trash time, whatever. So, there's an okay game. you gave up so much hit points. We're gonna take a look at this. You came in second.
Yeah.
Let's go to the detailed report. I feel like you fired AP way too much. But you did good damage with it, so fine. But let's look at your damage received. The Carnick, the tier 5 ship, hit you 20 times for 30,000 damage. The only ship that did more is the equal tier to you Renown, with 1,000 more damage with one less AP shell. So, you know, you gave up an awful lot of hit points for really no gain.
And that's because I charged right there and I shouldn't have.
Because you, well, no, it's not because you charged. It's because you panicked when you charged and said, oh my God, what do I do now? I know I need to turn around, and you gamer turned in front of him. Right? We call it a gamer turn because essentially what happened was you showed him your broadside and then you just went, hey, only Smith. So you need to learn, for especially for battleships where the bulk of your gun power and stuff is in the bow. What you need to learn to do is say, okay, I'm gonna keep my bow at that threat, and that's it. And the best way to do that is to stop and reverse. Thanks, Rob, for doing the shout out. I still wish you would have shot that Omaha at the start. If you've got AP in the barrel, you're aiming to shoot cruisers at the start of the game, not battleships, cruisers. If you've got HE in the barrel, then you're looking to shoot destroyers or battleships early on. You got to choose one or the other. Chat, what do you guys think we should call this game? I'm almost thinking gamer turn.
You turn much.
What?
You turn much. Because you did way too many U-turns.
Okay. You load HE into anticipate. I mean, early on, if you want to capture it, like this map especially is great for catching a broadside cruiser early on. Fine, have the AP, but look for cruiser opportunities. Like, you could have popped the plane and just immediately popped that Omaha, and you didn't. He lasted very long, much longer than he should have. Pausing right here. This is the point. When you're coming out of an island, you should be making the mental thought, and Rob should have done this in his Yamato game too. Am I too far ahead? The answer is yes. But if you don't realize that later, doesn't matter. The same thing happens. Stop and reverse.
Yeah, just stay here. Because your
Good song
Akincore is
choice.
gonna get the nice other side of the König.
That's
and
right.
Forcing him into a bad situation, but
Instead, you gamer
Yeah.
turn.
keep going.
You got
Right.
punished twice.
Yeah, I can see that. It really makes sense right now.
You're playing the
Like,
Dunkirk
if you-
like a cruiser.
Stopping and reversing right there would have been so much better than doing the gamer turn.
Stopping and reversing could have won you the game because you would have had enough HP to feel comfortable going after the rest of the ships.
Like right here, I think I wouldn't even have shot the Fuso. I know it's broadside and it's juicy.
That's
If you-
fun. It's,
I would
But
have
if
shot
you
him.
just
I would have
if you
shot him,
just
absolutely.
don't shoot and go to the backline of the cap right away, you get there
Mhm.
unspotted.
True.
And that forces the renown back before he can heal. And then
Mhm.
you kill the heal, and then if the Fuso comes back, then you can shoot the Fuso.
Yep. Yeah, the Renown went dark. Exactly. He went dark and healed up. Because, well, again, you were shooting AP at him and did... How much damage did you do to that Renown? Let's see. You did 24,000 damage.
not enough.
You did 24,800 damage with 21 AP shell hits. So just over 1,000 damage per hit with AP. That's abysmal. HE would have been far better. Set a fire, burn him down. Oh, it's a rare disaster replay theater loss. That's okay. Thudtwit, do you have any other questions at all, or was this good feedback for you?
No, it was pretty good. I like that.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
That's why I do this.
and that's why I do
Thank
it
you.
too. Of course. Hey, Tank Buster. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we can give you some feedback. That's very important. So thank you very much for sending in the replay and supporting me, especially over on the rerun channel, dude. Appreciate the hell out of you, man.